Ludwig Ogren is not an innocent man, and Porter Robinson knows it. Since when does being a video game speedrunner mean going to France with your family, or being unable to let go of your microphone for more than 2 seconds? How about you pick up a joystick for once, Ludwig? Fellow sleuths, I just can't shake the feeling that Ludwig was up to no good in Paris. Ludwig likes to think he can get away with whatever he wants, but he can't. Not with me around. And as per the title of his latest livestream as of recording this intro, the truth will be made known. At the top of our investigation, we know that Ludwig was in Paris in the middle of July. And to find out the first thing he got up to after arriving at the airport, all I have to do is check out the ongoing livestream. Ask me anything, but I must answer honestly. Day 14. Now, this is not the 14th consecutive day that he's telling the truth. No, I just caught the stream at a lucky time. Imagine my surprise when I heard this the moment I clicked on the stream.
But it was messaged. It was messaged.
What message, Ludwig? He never did clarify, but he didn't need to, thanks to my sleuthing abilities.
Now, you could say Tim is a paid chatter, you'd be right, but, you know, it's kind of besides the point.
So we know that Tim is a paid chatter. When you pay someone to post messages online for you, that's called a psyop. Ludwig's mask is definitely slipping, but we still have more to uncover about the Paris trip. Ludwig is obviously in deep with this Tim, if that is his real name, and we know the first person Ludwig met in Paris was Tim. I suspect Tim may have arrived to the meeting looking something like this. And check out what Ludwig admitted 58 seconds into the stream.
How's it going? Thank you for the $10. Does your mom know that you're gay? I'm not gay. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I'm feeling pretty good. I'm having a good one. We had some successful meetings today.
Ludwig is a man who knows a good meeting when he's had one, but the way he's kept it cryptic implies the meetings are good for him, not exactly a win for morality. And while I think I know what was discussed during the meeting, let me get into the most important part of the story now, which is what was exchanged at the end.
Sucks about you saying that is they're made by the same person. They're both made by Otto.
Both made by the same person. Someone named Otto. So what could this mean? Otto von Guericke was a German scientist and inventor, best known for his work on vacuum and air pressure. He's the guy who gave the ever-famous Magdeburg hemispheres demonstration in the 1600s. The Magdeburg hemispheres were 2 copper hemispheres that, when put together and had the air sucked out of them, could not be separated even by teams of horses due to the air pressure. Could it be that Ludwig received Magdeburg hemispheres during this shady meeting? 15 seconds after I asked that question aloud to myself, I got my answer.
But I think it is harder to do on YouTube. It's harder to do on YouTube.
So he's implying that something is hard and that you can't exactly do it on YouTube. That settles the mystery of the first item. The man's very next words tell us about the second item.
Is a reality, you know? But it still works, check it out. I say, as it doesn't work.
This is an interdimensional mirror. It's meant to show you some alternate version of yourself, but it, quote,
it is slow though, I will say.
Is slow to work, which we'll get into later. At 3:20 Paris time, Ludwig stashed both items in his inventory and Tim went on his way. Now let's put together the pieces of what he did upon stepping out of the airport. Ludwig's journey through Paris and France as a whole was interesting to say the least. For starters, he wasn't recording or streaming absolutely everything, so he was pretty on edge for most of the trip. I compiled the most suspicious quotes from the rest of the live stream, including this quote that comes 10 minutes into the stream that I believe is relevant at this point in the story.
You all... Get the fuck away!
No amount of silly anime characters can hide the truth. At first I thought this was Ludwig telling someone to get away, like someone had asked him to dance with him and he was saying no. But it's apparent to me now that this is how it went down as soon as he exited the airport. He was supposed to be picked up by some goons and taken to some secret location, but as the car pulled up and Ludwig stepped towards them, he accidentally spilled some documents all over the driver's lap. Documents detailing exactly how he would double-cross them before the week was up.
Is this what what was that?
And just like that, he went from a few business associates to 0. I'll say now that the meeting he had with Tim was regarding a man named Pierre and freeing him from his illegitimate imprisonment. But now that he's cut ties with the syndicate, it's safe to say Pierre is still in there to this day. Ludwig ended up hiding behind a dumpster where he met an interesting homeless man named Adelard. Adelard had a penchant for collecting human teeth, but hey, that's Adelard for you. Still in that business mindset, Ludwig tried striking up a deal with Adelard, but Adelard didn't really understand much English, so he just took his €10 without reciprocating. They just stared at each other until Ludwig too realized he didn't have a place to stay. The catacombs under Paris are a series of tunnels that stretch for miles, or kilometers I guess. I don't know why it's there or why it holds the remains of 6 million people, or why Ludwig decided to take refuge 6,000 meters down an uncharted pathway, but that's exactly what he did. I mean, I understand hiding somewhere where you can't get assassinated by your former business partners, but this is ridiculous. Eventually, he got hungry and spent 3 days and nights finding his way out. Needless to say, he was pretty hungry. The nearest place to get your morning breakfast by the catacombs is Café d'Aguirre, and luckily it was daytime, so that's where he went. Smelling absolutely awful, by the way. Ludwig tried to apologize to one of the syndicate members at the cafe, but it looked like he just crawled out of the catacombs, and the guy was with his wife, and Ludwig smelled really bad, and he didn't know what he was talking about, so they just stared at each other until one of them left. This is all not to say Ludwig's trip to France was a total failure. He did scare a small child with a mirror, so there's that. Not that it actually worked, it was just random. He couldn't be bothered to clean his other items, so he sold it to Adelard. He never did get that 10 euro back. His pride thoroughly shaken, Ludwig just had to do something rightly shady before leaving for Paris. And do it right. So he posed as an English major and advertised tutoring services to the locals. And look, we all know Ludwig is a pretty crooked guy, but faking an English degree is a bridge too far! Anyway, that's when he met Mr. and Mrs. Langevin, and Remy, their son. Ludwig was supposed to tutor their son in English, and he tried to until he spotted Adelard outside the window on another roof, making crazy and frantic arm gestures. Ludwig didn't really know what that meant, so he ignored Adelard until a hitman entered the room. Q. R.
You're lucky this kid is here.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, kid.
Don't you ever betray us, dude.
Yeah, sorry. For this embarrassment, Remy's parents asked for a refund, and his eyes got all shifty and a crooked smile creeped up over his dishonest teeth. Yeah, I'll refund you. Your money's just in my car outside. Let me go get it for you. Sorry guys, not my car. The Uber I took here left already. Just gotta call him back. Oh, here he is. I'll just step inside and grab your cash real quick. It won't be too long. Hey, Ramon. Where'd you put the money I left in here? Ramon. Sorry guys, Ramon here isn't an honest man. In the end, he just gave him their money back. Ludwig decided his reputation in the English tutoring sphere was thoroughly ruined, so he decided to spec into hygiene products. It was a simple scam. Repackage cheap stuff with expensive labels and call it a day. All in all, it was going pretty until he knocked on the door of a posh townhouse and found himself face to face with one Madame Dubois, an old lady with more money than sense. Ludwig put on his most charming smile and launched into a sales pitch, but before he could get 2 sentences out, he noticed something. Her husband. Monsieur Dubois was standing just behind her, staring at Ludwig with a gaze that could melt steel. This was the guy on whom he spilt that coffee and documents on all those days ago. Realizing he was mere seconds away from being recognized and potentially dying, he did the one thing he could. And that was to cram half a tube of toothpaste down his gullet. Are you all right, young man? Still fearing recognition, he did the one thing he could. Use the rest of the toothpaste. Madame Dubois was unimpressed with his behavior and quickly closed the door on him, thankfully. Ludwig returned to America, ready to drop the whole shady businessman thing, hoping to still be able to sleep at night, knowing that Pierre is still sitting in his cell. Waiting. Just waiting.